Hey guys, in this video I want to go ahead and talk to you about Cramer's rule and using it to solve 3x3 linear systems. Okay, so we're going to be developing it using matrices. So here I have my system. Okay, it's a 3x3 system of three linear equations, x, y, and z. So what you're going to do is we're going to use a determinant because we've been working on that. So first we're going to find the determinant of the coefficient matrix, which is this guy. Okay, and so I just went ahead and did this example so you guys can follow along just for sake of time. And so I set it up here, 2, 3, -1, and 1, -2, 0. So I set it up right here. And remember when we were finding the determinant, okay, you can use any row and any column. But remember, each row and column corresponds to a sign. So in a 3x3 matrix, it's positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, so on and so forth. Okay, and remember that the odd positions are negative and the even positions are going to be positive. Okay, now right here we start off with 2. We're going to use the cofactors. Okay, so we're going to use this guy here. That's why you see the 2. So when you use that, I'm going to cover up the 2, the first row, first column. I'm left with -2, 0, 3, 2. And then I go to the next one here, which is 3. But remember, it alternates from positive to negative. So that becomes -3. So I'm covering up the first row, first column. I'm sorry, second column. So we get 1, 0, 1, 2. Okay, and the last one is a negative, right? And then we're going to go cover up the first row, last column. We're left with 1, -2, 1, 3. So now I'm going to use this guy. I'm going to find the determinant using all this information. So here, remember, is -2 times 2 is -4 minus 3 times 0, which is 0. And then -3, and then 1 times 2 is 2 minus 1 times 0, which is 0. And then over here, this -1, it just fits there. 3 times 1 is 3 minus 1 times -2 is -2. So be careful because sometimes you get those double negatives there, okay? So we end up doing the math here, all right? And your determinant, guys, you end up with -19. So what you're going to go ahead and do, this is the determinant of the what we call the coefficient matrix, okay? So that's what we're going to go ahead and use that. We're going to divide that to get the values of x, y, and z. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to find the determinant of x, or with respect to x, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these answers here, these guys right here, I'm going to take these guys right here, and I'm going to substitute them for the x column right here. So this is my matrix, okay, coefficient matrix, but I'm going to replace this column, the x column, with the answer column. So now I'm going to have this guy because it replaces the x. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. And I'm going to go ahead and find the determinant. Okay, so now I use 5, cover up the first row, first column. I'm left with -2, 0, 3, 2. And then same thing, -3, cover up first row, second column. We're left with -3, 0, 13, 2. And then the last one is a negative. Remember, positive, negative, and then positive. And then we cover up the first row, last column. All right, and we're left with -3, -2, 13, and 3. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same operations of the determinant with these guys, okay? So -2 times 2 is -4, minus 3 times 0 is 0. And then -3 times 2 is -6, minus 13 times 0 is 0. And then -3 times 3 is -9, minus, and then 2 times 13 times -2 is -26. So you can see this double negative here, and you just got to be careful with your math. So this becomes -4, -6. This becomes 26, -9 plus 26, which is 17. So when you do your math here, okay, -20 plus 18 minus 17, you get -19. So now what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to take your determinant that you got from the x on the top divided by the determinant of the coefficient matrix. And you get -19 divided by -19, which is a +1. Okay? And that's how it goes about. And then we continue. Now we're going to go ahead and do the next one. Okay, we're going to take our coefficient matrix. Now the middle column is the y. We're going to replace that one with our answer column here. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing, right? We're going to start with 2, cover up the first row, first column. We're left with -3, 0, 13, 2. And then the next one alternates with a -5, first row, second column, 1, 0, 1, 2. Okay, and then the negative, the last column. Okay. And then we're left with 1, -3, 1, 13. And if you see there, guys, that we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. So now, same thing. So -3 times 2 is -6, minus, okay, 13 times 0 is 0. Let's keep going. 1 times 2 is 2, minus 1 times 0 is 0. And then 1 times 13 is 13, minus 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Okay, so then we go ahead and continue. This gives you negative 6, positive 2. This gives you, be careful, 16, double negative right there. So when you do the math there, you end up with negative 38. And then you're going to get negative 38. Your d sub y goes on the top, divided by the determinant of your matrix, of your coefficient matrix, okay? And you end up with 2, okay? And then you can go ahead and continue. You're going to go ahead and do one more, where we have to do the z now, okay? And same thing, this is my same coefficient matrix now, except I replace the z, okay? And I do the same thing. I start off with 2, okay? Cover up the first row, first column, and I end up with negative 2, negative 3, 3, 13. And then minus 3, first row, second column, 1, negative 3, 1, 13. And then, so it goes positive, negative, and then positive, so it's plus 5. And then do the same thing. We're left with 1, negative 2, 1, 3. And then we're going to go ahead and continue doing our determinant. So we have 2 and then negative 26 minus negative 9. So remember, be careful with that double negative in there, okay? And then negative 3 and then 13 minus 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Same thing here with the 5. 1 times 3 is 3 minus 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. So be careful with these double negatives because it can be confusing. So negative 26 plus 9, negative 17. This becomes 16, and this becomes a 5. You do the math right there, you get negative 57. Now you get negative 57 divided by negative 19, you get positive 3. All right, guys? And so your solutions would be what we got right here for x, y, and z. I want to go ahead and do just one more, okay? And just go ahead and do it here. So I set up the coefficient matrix. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do it now, okay? Set it up. So I'm going to start off with negative 1 right here. Okay, cover it up, first row, first column. So we get 0, 1, negative 2, 3. 0, 1, negative 2, and 3. And then positive, and then it goes to negative, so we have a minus 4. And then first row, second column, 3, 1, 4, 3. All right, so 3, 1, 4, 3. And then the last one is positive, negative, and then positive. So we got plus 1. And then we're left with 3, 0, 4, negative 2. 3, 0, 4, and negative 2. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my determinant using these values here. So let's see if I can do it. And I'll do it just quickly in my head, just for sake of time. 0 times 3 is 0. Minus 2. Minus a negative 2, so be careful. Minus a negative 2 becomes a positive 2. And the next one, minus 4. So this becomes 3 times 3 is 9. Minus minus 4. Okay. And the next one, plus 1. And then 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Minus 4 times 0 is 0. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue there. And this is going to give me negative 1 times 2. And then negative 4 times 5. And then the last one is 1 times negative 6. So now over here, and I think I'm going to need some more room. Okay, let me erase this guy right here. So it's not very difficult, but sometimes it is a little bit of time consumption. Okay, so this is going to give me negative 2 minus 20. Negative 2 minus 20 minus 6. So therefore, the determinant of my coefficient matrix is negative 22, negative 28, looks like it. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using to divide. All right, guys. So now we're going to go ahead, and you notice I already started substituting my x column right here. All right, with the answer column here. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and do dx. Okay, I'm going to start off with negative 9. And then first row, first column, 0, 1, negative 2, 3. So 0, 1, negative 2, 3. And then it alternates, so it becomes a minus. So first row, second column, you're going to do negative 1, 1, 8, 3. So negative 1, 1, 8, 3. And the last one alternates, becomes it's a positive 1. So remember, it goes positive, negative, positive. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and cover it up. Negative 1, 0, 8, negative 2. Negative 1, 0, 8, negative 2. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and find the determinant of the x. Okay, so we're going to do negative 9. Okay. And we're going to do 0 times 3 is 0 minus a negative 2, so be careful. And then minus 4. And then we go negative 1 times 3 is negative 3 minus 8 times 1 is 8. Okay. And so be careful with those double negatives. So negative 1 times negative 2 is 2 minus 8 times 0 is 0. So be careful. So we're going to get negative 9 times positive 2 minus 4 times negative 11. And then plus 1 times 2. So our d sub x is going to be negative 18 plus 44. So let me see, negative 18 plus 44 plus 2. And that equals to 28. Alright. So now to figure out my x, I'm going to go dx over my determinant of my coefficient matrix, which is negative 28. So I end up with negative 1. Great. I did that correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and continue, guys. Alright. So now I'm going to go ahead and just rewrite it. But I'm going to go ahead and substitute my y column. So now remember it's negative 1, 3, 4. Now I'm going to substitute it, okay? My y column is now going to be negative 9, negative 1, and 8. And now the last column stays the same, 1, 1, 3. Alright, so do that one. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and find the determinant, and this is for y, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. So I'm going to use negative 1, okay? And then cover up first row, first column, negative 1, 1, 8, 3. Negative 1, 1, 8, 3. Positive, then that's a negative. So 2 negatives here becomes a positive 9. And then first row, second column, we're left with 3, 1, 4, 3. 3, 1, 4, 3. So positive, negative, positive. Okay, and then cover up the last row, last column. So 3, negative 1, 4, 8. 3, negative 1, and then 4 and 8. Alright, so I need to find my determinant in terms of y. So it's going to be negative 1, and that's negative 3 minus 8. And that's 9, and 3 times 3 is 9, minus 4 times 1 is 4. The last one is plus, and then 3 times 8 is 24, minus 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Alright. And we have that. So now we have negative 1 times negative 11. And then we have positive 9, and then 9 minus 4 is 5. And then plus 1 times 24 plus 4, that's 28. So be careful with that, okay? And the last thing we're going to do is see that's going to give me positive 11 plus 45 plus 28. That's going to give me 84. Okay, so hopefully I did everything correctly. Alright, so my dy is 84. And then my other one is negative 28, which is my determinant of my coefficient matrix. So that's going to give me negative 3. Great. I did that right. Alright. So we're going to do one more, guys. So we have our x, our y. Now we have our z. So we got to do our z now. So remember, your x column stays the same. Okay. Now your y column is going to stay the same. 4, 0, negative 2. Now it's going to go ahead and change. It's going to be your z column. So right there we're going to put negative 9, negative 1, and positive 8. Alright, guys. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So this is going to be our dz. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. Same thing. So we'll start off with negative 1. So that's going to give me 0, negative 1, negative 2, 8, 0, negative 1, negative 2, and 8. Positive, then that becomes a negative. And then we go first row, second column, 3, negative 1, 4, 8. 3, negative 1, 4, and 8. Positive, negative, positive. So I'll just put plus and that negative 9 right there. First row, last column, 3, 0, 4, negative 2. 3, 0, 4, and negative 2. Alright, now I gotta go ahead and find my determinant with respect to the z. So we're gonna have negative 1. 0 times 8 is 0, minus negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. So 0 minus 2. And then we have 3 times 8 is 24, minus 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Okay, be careful, and then I'm just gonna leave that as a minus. And then the last one is negative 6, minus 4 times 0 is 0. Alright, so we're going to have negative 1 times negative 2 minus 4 times 28 minus 9 times negative 6. So that's our dz. Alright, so our dz. So that's going to give me 2 minus 4 times 28 plus 54 negative 56. So that's going to give me negative 56, and so our z is going to be our dz, which is negative 56 divided by our negative 28, which is going to be equal to positive 2. Alright guys, so sometimes a little tedious, but it works when you do it right. So hopefully that helps, and I'll see you guys next time.